Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the melee weapon, the Fragor Prime. Now in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits. Meaning I don't mix it with any kind of external things that would increase weapon performance. That would be things like Warframe's using abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon built out by itself, and I let the viewer make their own intelligent conclusions about adding those external things. Now, when I do a melee weapon, I do add one external in these videos, and that is a pet putting statuses on enemies for me, and it's because most melee weapons in the game will use a mod called Condition Overload, and Condition Overload requires you to be priming, otherwise it won't show what it actually is doing. And so, just to make sure I'm displaying Condition Overload appropriately, I use a pet to melee prime. Alrighty. So the Fragor Prime was suggested to us by commenter Daniel Kim, and that's why we're doing it today. We have the top commenter of the last video and the first commenter of the last video, which was the same person. It's Hey Abellionis. And before we get into the build, we're getting pretty close to 3,000 subs, guys. We're only like 100 and something people away. As you all know already, that at 3,000 subs, we will be turning the channel into a mukbang channel, right? No more games, just eating seafood. That's it. So if you're interested in that, make sure you are subscribing. Okay, let's go into the weapon here. So the Fragor Prime actually does not look like this. This is a skin for the Fragor Prime, but this is important that you use this skin. Well, kind of. It's very minimal increase, but if you use this skin, you get a 5% attack speed increase. This is so friggin' weird. This is only one of two weapons that has a thing like this, where if you use a certain skin, it gets an increase. It's this weapon, and I believe the Skindo, I think, which is like an axe, also has a skin that increases stats. So super friggin' weird. So yeah, we have to use this skin, which is, if we go to appearance, it's called the Brock skin. So the Fragor Brock skin. So normally this is what the Fragor looks like. And if we go to skin and we go over Fragor Brock, actually if we read it, it says it right here. Fragor Brock skin. This variation of the hammer has a 5% faster swing speed, but minus 1 second combo duration. So I guess, you know, there's a trade-off there. If you don't like the minus 1 second combo duration, you don't have to use this, because 5% is quite small. So, but I'm using the Brock skin here. I also like that it makes it look like a giant wiener. So you have the shaft that, of course, you hold on to, and then two gigantic balls up top. So I have colored it to showcase that. Of course, not all wieners have to be pink. Some wieners are brown or tan, and that's okay. So you choose your appropriate wiener. So let's go out of appearance here, and let's go into the build. And what we're going to start with first is the interesting and exciting things about the Fragor Prime before we get into the mods. Okay, so the Fragor Prime, as far as slam damage goes, it's kind of mediocre. It's good, but it's like the Rumblejack. There's daggers that have better slam damage. So like, just because this is a hammer, don't think it is like really good slam damage. However, when we talk about the slam radius, the range of that slam, it is really good. So it's 9 meters slam range, which is not the most. There's a lot of weapons that have 10 meters, a lot of other hammers that have 10 meters, but hammers in general usually have really big radius, and this is one of them. This is 9 meters of radius. So it does have quite a big slam radius. This weapon's unique trait gives it plus 30 initial combo count, which is kind of cool, but we're actually going for a times 12 combo Fragor, so like we're not doing a heavy spam build, so the initial combo doesn't really matter too much for us, but it's still cool. It's cool if you intend to maybe switch the build up and do something different. Maybe you can actually make use of that, but our build doesn't really make use of it. We already went over the Brock skin. The Brock skin gives plus 5% attack speed, which is super weird, but hey, whatever. And yeah, that's about it. Okay, so let's go over the mods now on the Fragor. We're going to start with Voltaic Strike, which is the 60-60 electric. we are using this mod to activate our arcane. So I'm going to skip ahead to our arcane here. Melee influence. So on a melee electricity status, 20% chance for elemental melee status effects to apply to enemies within 20 meters for 18 seconds. Okay, so the way you activate melee influence is by just making sure you have electric on your weapon. This weapon doesn't have innate electric like some other melees, so we have to put electric on it with Voltaic Strike. All right, next we're going to have Sacrificial Steel for crit chance, Organ Shatter for crit damage, Gladiator Might for crit damage and also 120% crit chance when fully stacked, which we will be fully stacked with this particular build. Condition Overload. This is going to give us a plus 80% melee damage, flat damage increase per unique status type affecting the weapon. So we're going to be using a Dirija as our primer for our Condition Overload, and I did a video on my Dirija a few months ago. It's probably about time that I do an updated video on it eventually, but you could always look up the Dirija video from a few months ago and take a gander at it. But our Dirija is going to apply 6 to 8 statuses consistently to dudes around us. So that's going to be like 6 to 8 times 80. I'm not great at math, but that's a few hundred flat damage, which is really nice. Berserker Fury. This is going to give us 70% attack speed. This is very important, because the one big negative about the Fragor Prime is it is slow. This thing is glacially slow. Sometimes on certain melee weapons that are quicker, like some daggers, for instance, you can get away with using Vice. Where is it? Here. Gladiator Vice. Let me just bring it over here. So some fast melee weapons, you can get away with using Gladiator Vice as your attack speed mod, because this gives you 30 attack speed, which is not a lot, but if the weapon's already fast, it's kind of okay. And it gives you 120% crit when fully stacked, of course, because of the set bonus. This we cannot use on the Fragor. We cannot use this. It's questionable whether even to use 2 attack speed mods on this weapon. You shouldn't, because you'll lose DPS on that, but if you got a Riven that had more attack speed, I might even consider keeping Berserker Fury and just stacking more attack speed with that Riven on somewhere else. So, yeah, you can't, unfortunately with this weapon, you can't use Gladiator Vice here. You have to really be using Berserker Fury for 70% attack speed. Okay. Blood Rush is going to be crit chance, stacking with combo multiplier. So 40% times 12, it's 480% crit chance. Weeping Wounds is going to be 40% status chance, stacking with combo multiplier, so 480% status chance. Weeping Wounds is the weakest mod on this build. So if you had a Riven, you would likely put it over Weeping Wounds. The reason Weeping Wounds is the weakest mod is because a lot of melee weapons have Slash as their main stat. This weapon does not. This weapon has Impact as its main stat. And so the only thing Weeping Wounds really does is it guarantees an electric proc on every hit. Or almost. I don't think it's technically going up to 100%. But it almost guarantees an electric proc on every hit, which is nice. But it's not like a Slash, right? Like Slash is more valuable. So for that reason, because of this weapon being super high in the impact, Weeping Wounds is your weakest mod. So you plop a Riven over this if you have one. Okay. In the stance slot, we have 2 different options. We have Crushing Ruin. This is the one that actually starts with the proper polarity. So you'll start with this V polarity to fit Crushing Ruin. This is the one I like. But there's also Shattering Storm, which is unfortunately the wrong polarity. So you'd have to use probably a stance forma or just over forma to be able to fit this. And this one, it has one combo attack that is good. Like it's as good as Crushing Ruins, but it's just, you're going through a lot of hoops to be like as good as Crushing Ruin, right? You're like spending extra formas just to be as good as Crushing Ruin. But we'll go over the stances and I'll show both of them off. Okay, and then in the Tennokai slot here, we're going to go for Opportunity's Reach. So increases the opportunity window to 4 seconds and melee range by 3 meters for Tennokai attacks. I did a lot of testing with this because I thought maybe this could affect the heavy slam radius that you get by with Tennokai, like that you get for free with Tennokai, and it doesn't. It doesn't seem to affect the heavy slam, but that's okay. I really want opportunities reach for that 4-second window. Here's the reason. The slam on the Fragor is still quite valuable. It's a 9-meter radius. That's really, really nice. So you can convert your free Tennokai attacks into heavy slams. If you intend to do that, like I'm going to do, you need time to be able to jump up in the air, aim downwards, and melee attack. You get that time with opportunities reach because you have a full 4 seconds to do it. Without opportunities reach, like let's say you were to use Dreamer's Wrath or Disciple's Merit, which are the other two really good options, you can pull it off. You can jump and slam the ground and pull it off, but you have to do it like the second you see the Tennokai button appear. I don't like that. I don't have like amazing reaction times, and so for that reason, I think opportunities reach is better. Now, here's the other thing though. This is if you're intending to do heavy slams. You're converting your Tennokais into heavy slams instead of regular heavy attacks. You don't have to do that. You could still regular heavy attack. And if you want to just regular heavy attack, you don't need opportunities reach. You could use Dreamer's Wrath or Disciple's Merit. Disciple's Merit gives you more consistent Tennokais every 4 hits, and Dreamer's Wrath gives you more Tennokais, not as many as Disciple's Merit, but it still gives you more Tennokais than normal, and a little bit more crit damage for every attack. I think for this weapon, because it has an above average crit multiplier, I think Dreamer's Wrath is probably better than Disciple's Merit. If the actual heavy attack was a little bit better, like if it was a 360 or something like that, I might want to spam it more with Disciple's Merit, but it's not. It's kind of just like a weird slash or like whack forward. And so for that reason, like I don't want to spam it every 4 attacks. I would just rather press it once in a while when it comes up. So I would go with Dreamer's Wrath if you don't want to go for heavy slams. But if you want to convert your Tennokais into heavy slams, you should be going for opportunities reach. Alrighty. And then the Arcane we already went over. It's melee influence. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to the Simulacrum, and we're going to show off the stances.
The multitude of creatures you have immortalized would cry out in thanks, if they...
This is a cool weapon. However, you'll see the attack speed kind of lets it down. I feel like the attack speed is kind of the loser in this weapon. But, I do these videos without externals. Of course, with externals, there's a bunch of different ways to increase attack speed. So if you're using those externals, then attack speed might not be an issue for you anymore. So, all right. So the first one we're going to be showing off is the one that you start with the polarity of, which is, I think, Crushing Ruin. Let me check. Yeah, Crushing Ruin. All right. Aerial attacks with crowd control combos. Okie dokie. Let's show this guy off here. So I'm going to do the forward light. That's okay, but it's kind of slow. There's not a lot of movement to it. Let's go back, and we're going to do the neutral light, so not moving forward and holding E. This one actually has a really good DPS. So this is one of the ones that you would pick to spam if you like this. So this is the neutral light right here. It's okay. I like the swirly. I don't really like the final hit at the end because it's not technically a slam. It's just like a single dude hit. A single dude bonk on the head, which I don't really like too much. But this does technically do a lot of DPS. The other one that I'm going to show right now that does a lot of DPS, I really like this. So this is the blocking. So you got to block, and you're going to do the forward block. So you're walking forward while blocking and holding E. This is the one I like, and this is also a very high DPS combo. And look how quick you move here. And this is without even Berserker Fury proc. When you have Berserker Fury proc, it's going to be even quicker than this. So you get the swirlies, but the swirlies end in an actual slam, not just a forward bonk like you get with the other one. It's an actual slam. So I really like this one. This is what I'm going to be spamming when I do the gameplay, basically. All right, and then we'll show the neutral block. This is just kind of a swirl and a slam over and over again. So I won't be spamming this one. I'm going to be spamming that forward block attack. So, okay, let's show off the other stance. Because it's a different polarity and because it's like, because it's a different polarity, I actually have to take off a mod. I have to take off Weeping Wounds to be able to fit this in. Or any mod, really. So I'm going to put in Shattering Storm here. And we're going to show Shattering Storm off. Okay, so we're going to do the forward light. So it just kind of like swings back and forth. Yeah, kind of mediocre. If it moved a little bit more forward instead of stop and go, I might like that a bit. The neutral light. I don't like that at all. That's like friggin' a bunch of like bonks on a single enemy in front of you. Except for the last bonk, which is a slam. All right. The forward block. So again, for this stance, the forward block is also a high DPS stance. So this is the one you would consider spamming if you choose this stance. Okay, this is the blocking, moving forward, and holding E. Not too bad. It's not too bad. I don't technically like the whirl forward, like where you just kind of point it forward and probably only hit like a single dude. But everything else is pretty decent. It's got a lot of whirlies and it ends in that slam. So this is pretty decent. So this is what you would spam if you are using this stance. This is the forward block. All right, enough of that. Let's show the neutral block though. So blocking, not moving forward, and holding E. This is interesting. It's just this over and over again. All right. So I'm going to switch back to the Crushing Ruin, and I'm going to, during the gameplay, I'm going to be spamming that forward block. But you could also spam the forward block of this attack too. So both stances, the forward block is really powerful. Crushing Ruin has another attack, though, that is also powerful, which was the neutral light. So, all right. Upgrade. We're going to put on Crushing Ruin back on. Don't forget to put Weeping Wounds back on so we get some more status chance. All right, and I'm going to be showing this off in the gameplay with a Big Dumb Anaros with no Archon Shards that increase weapon performance. No mods or arcanes on the Anaros that increase weapon performance. And I am going to be using my Dirija with my Burst Laser Prime for melee priming for me. Alrighty, I think we're pretty good. Good to get into the gameplay here. So solo, Steel Path, Mott.
Each enemy is more powerful than before. Only with
Now look at this hammer. I mean, if a guy came after you with something that looked like this, I'd probably be a little bit scared, you know? All right, let's get into it here.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
Let's go wienering with this hammer. So I'm going to be converting my Tenokais into heavy slams whenever they come up. And that extra 4 seconds will give me that time to jump up in the air, aim downwards, and slam. You can technically do that without Opportunity's Reach. It's just, you're going to have to like do it the second the Tenokai comes up. So, and because I do not have good reaction time, I'm going to be going with Opportunity's Reach to kind of help me with that. Let me show you what the regular heavy attack looks like, though. If you didn't want to go for the heavy slam, it's not bad. It's just it's just a whack forward, which is still quite strong. So if you want to go for the non-conversion of heavy slams, then go with Disciples, Merit, or Dreamer's Wrath, I think were the two. And I would probably lean on Dreamer's Wrath for more crit damage. It's got really good crit chance and crit damage stats, so you would definitely favor those two stats in a Riven. But it's got really, not really bad status, but not good. The status is not good on this weapon, so you probably don't want to go for like a % status increase on your Riven, because it would kind of be wasted, because you won't get a lot of value out of it. So probably crit chance, crit damage, and probably attack speed. And I would even consider maybe doubling up the attack speed with Berserker's Fury. Just because that's kind of what makes this weapon feel bad, is the slow attack speed. But like we were saying though, I mean these videos are without externals. Maybe you're using a Warframe that gives you attack speed for free. I'm gonna put some status immunity on so I don't get whacked around. I'm the one supposed to be doing the whacking with the ball hammer, slamming these two giant pink balls on my enemies, just like real life. Alright, we have the Acolyte coming. Let's see how this does against the Acolyte. Most melee weapons pretty much slay Acolytes, so I'm not worried too much. Not as good of an Acolyte Slayer as some weapons. Although I didn't heavy attack him. The one time I did slam, he took a good amount of damage there.
When you are ready, go to
Alright, we're at 5 minutes. I think the heavy slam is quite powerful. Like that's why I'm going for the heavy slam conversion of the Tennokai. So, I mean, the other way is absolutely valid, not heavy slamming and just using the regular heavy attack. I just feel like, this is a big old hammer. Why not make use of the big slam radius? Even though the slam damage is not, like, much different than a lot of other weapons, the slam radius is. Slam radius is huge. Not much length, but a lot of girth, basically. You know what I'm saying? And some people say that's all that matters. This used to be, and it might still be, but I know they've changed a lot of stuff. Last time I looked at Ash, I was really upset because they basically removed any kind of stat sticking with them. But this weapon used to be a really good stat stick for certain Warframes. I don't know if it still is, if they've messed around with other Warframes and kind of screwed around with their stat sticking, but this used to be a pretty decent stat stick because of the initial combo. On certain Warframes that it actually mattered on. Certain Warframes it doesn't matter on, but... And that, of course, that was before all the Incarnans with Ceramic Dagger and stuff, so who knows? Probably compared to Ceramic Dagger and the other Incarnans, it's not a good stat stick anymore. But it used to be. It used to be. Hey, 30 initial combo. Used to be pretty decent. Again, it might still be. I don't know what Warframe it would still be good on. Just because I know they've messed with a few of the Warframes now. Damn Ash. No stat sticks work. When I did my Ash video, I was super pissed. Because I had it built out for when it was working, and then I did my video and I did all the research for the video, and I'm like, none of this crap works anymore. Nothing. Nothing of a stat stick works on Ash anymore. What the hell? He's still strong. He's just not as strong as he used to be because of the, the stuff you would get from the Inodem. Because his little dudes that run around and kill things used to be able to stack attack speed, and the Inodem had more attack speed Incarnate evolutions. So the little shadow dudes would actually kill things quicker because they move super. I shouldn't say they move slow, but you can queue up 60 friggin' attacks. So for them to get through 60 attacks takes forever. So using the Inodem and putting attack speed would speed it up a bit. You can't do that anymore. So some of the really meta melee weapons we've done have hit about 1,100 kills. So we'll see what this one gets to. I have a feeling this one might not be 1,100 because I don't think this is super meta. This might be in the 900s, maybe 1,000 if it's lucky, but probably 900s. We'll see. Maybe I'll get proven wrong. Maybe it'll be 1,200. I just think it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow. Each whack is powerful, but man, it's slow between whacks. All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Let's find the exit where it is straight ahead. Let's head down that hallway, and then we'll check where we're at. Oh, okay. 1,050. 1,050. So just short of the other melee weapons we were checking. So not as strong as some of the most powerful ones, but not that far behind. Not that far behind. I think it technically beat out the Ghoul Saw. I want to say the Ghoul Saw might have been at 1,020. So I think it beat the Ghoul Saw by a little bit.
What you have learned here will serve you well.
So yeah, that was the Fragor Prime. Really good weapon. It's just the attack speed kind of lets you down. But if you mix it with some kind of external that could help with attack speed, then you don't have to worry about that bad aspect of it. So yeah, if you guys liked it, consider giving the video a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. All right.